Welcome, Puffy, the Shetland Puffin of despair. The slow music playing for our good friend Chris Coote, who today was tragically standing outside the Skippy factory when the boiler exploded. Blew his peanut butter covered body into an adjoining building which happened to contain the Montreal SPCA, where he was licked to death by rabid golden retrievers. It's a sad day here on String Theory. Welcome to String Theory. It's Wednesday. I'm drinking Stella all by myself, and the lovely Ginger's in the house. Chris, I don't know where Chris is, but anyhow, we're here. We love you. We're happy. It's Wednesday night. And you know what? There's one thing that has to be said every time we do this, and that would be, welcome to String Theory. Here's John and Chris and Ginger. So, we are glad to be here again, as we always are, every week. Damn, it's been a long time. I was telling somebody the other day about how many weeks we've done this show, and the 81 weeks of life and music, and the ongoing guitar reviews, and the, you name it, we've been doing all of it for all this time, and we've enjoyed it immensely. And I meet people all the time that have that are connected to this show somehow. So it's really cool to be back. And so we'll start off with Capo Corner. And Capo Corner is kind of a neat one today, but just a personal experience for me. Just before we came to air tonight, received a dandy phone call from David Mathis at Gallagher Guitars, and he's down there working hard. They've got new personnel on board. They're building greater and greater guitars each day, and David Mathis is just one of the finest men around down there. He's putting out some killer guitars, and the plans that we're making, there's going to be, you need to keep an eye on their YouTube channel and their website if you haven't gone and subscribed to them. If they can, I think they're pretty sure they can take subscriptions, or check their website. There's going to be some very interesting stuff appear on there shortly. We've got some evil planned, and yeah. So that was a great conversation, and a big thank you to David and all the builders and hard workers down there at the Gallagher Guitars shop in Murfreesboro, Tennessee. And let's not forget my best friend in the world, Boucher, Robin Boucher Guitars. What are you gonna say? There's some things going on there too, of course, as there always is. Levy's Leather Straps, G&G Music, my good friend Glenn Gotel, the number one Boucher dealer in the world. He's if you want a Boucher guitar, that's the place to get it. And also, our friend Stephen McNeil, Citadel Music, also a Boucher dealer, also Recording King, Hagstrom, DV Mark, they're on fire. They just went through a whole storefront change and all that stuff, so that's all awesome. Opry Music Store in Newfoundland, Reed's Music Opry Music Store in Mirror Machine, New Brunswick, Vince Mullen. Reed's Music in Mount Pearl, K&K Sound, Gallagher Guitars, as I've already mentioned. Recording King, another conversation I had a few days ago with Ashley Atz. There's some really exciting stuff coming out of that place this fall. Alvarez Yeri St. Louis Music, as always, thank you so much. Yamaha Music Canada, thanks again. James Martin Instruments, our buddies in Kilkenny, Ireland. Joshua House, Close Guitars, Cody Guitars, Orangewood, Audio Sprockets, D'Addario, The Arc, Apollo Picks, Tone Right, Epiphone Gibson, thank you guys. There's a review coming very soon on a wicked Epiphone they sent me. And Blue Chip Picks on board with the old String Theory dealio. So there you go. We love you. And who asks the first Christian?
That would be Eli Patrick.
Eli Patrick, my good bluegrass picking buddy from down in Kentucky.
Hi guys, I recently learned Chet's version of The Entertainer. The arrangement was written by John Knowles. What are your thoughts on John's playing? Also, did you check out the picks I told you about?
I did. I did check those out. They're not for me. They might be for other players, but not me. They it's just their design that I can't get around, and I don't use picks to play guitar, finger picks to play guitar, Eli. So, but for other players, they might be incredible. They are a very unique design. And John Knowles, I played a show with John Knowles in Toronto 15 years ago, and had spent a lovely day with him. And a very underrated guitar player, because he invented these incredible, complex arrangements for tunes like The Entertainer, it was an American anthem he did for Chet as well. There was a ton of them that he arranged and gave to Chet, taught them to Chet, and Chet, of course, perfected them and played them and recorded them. And John Knowles is a monster guitar player, and I hope he's still living. I don't know. I don't think he's gone. I hope not. Anyhow, actually, strangely enough, interesting time to ask that question, because the Chet Atkins Appreciation Society Festival is going on in Nashville very, very soon. And my buddy Gareth Pearson contacted me yesterday and said he was going to it, of course, performing at it and all that stuff. He's moved back to Nashville, finally. Thank you, God, that he finally got back there. I don't know why he ever left, but yeah, he's another great guitar player to watch out for. He'll be out playing with Tommy Emmanuel and guys like that in the coming months. So yeah, interesting. Good question. It's nice to see people mention people like John Knowles, because he's just one of those unsung guitar heroes that people don't even realize were behind the scenes in the creation of some of the greatest recordings ever done that Chet did, based upon John Knowles' arranging powers. So yeah, amazing.
So I want to try something, but we might lose the audio.
All right.
So I'm relying on the chat people to tell me if you can't hear us anymore.
Can they still hear that?
Can you hear us?
Do you hear me slurping beer? Chat people, tell us. Yes, chat. Chat people?
No?
They can't hear us?
Nothing's happening.
Uh-oh.
Audio okay? Okay, yeah, they can hear us.
Ooh. Cool. What do you got going on over there?
Hey.
Oh, there's something happening.
Yeah.
That's not going to work. What's happening over there?
Hold on.
I don't know what these are for. What do we got going on here?
Can you hear Chris? I can't hear Chris.
I can't hear him either.
Hang on. How about now?
Oh my God, I can hear you.
Oh, it's Coot.
Oh my God.
Why is his face all slashed up there? Can't we change the
What
split?
the hell's happening?
Hang on.
We got to find a better split than that.
I'm just out doing some grocery shopping.
Doing grocery shopping.
Yeah.
Oh, there we go. Hey, there he is. How you doing, buddy?
Hey. Good. How are you doing?
I'm good.
Yeah.
Where are you?
Awesome. Oh, I'm just in downtown Montreal doing some grocery shopping.
Well, we certainly miss you here today. The sad puffin was very sad at the beginning of the show.
Yeah. Yeah. It's just not the same on a Wednesday, is it?
No. Did you hear the intro I gave you?
No.
Oh, God, you have to go back, and when the show's over, go back and watch that. It's pretty funny.
I will. I'm just trying to hold the fort down here in downtown Montreal. The times are a little tough at the Cock and Bull.
Oh my geez, I just saw the sign. There you go. Yeah, leave it to Chris to find a place called the Cock and Bull. So the
They
wonders
were
of
asking for you.
yeah, I bet you they were. So the wonders of technology, thanks to Apple and Switcher Studio.
Yeah.
I can't believe this. You're actually with us in Montreal. This is fantastic.
Yeah.
So do you want to stay on for a couple of Christians or what?
Well, I can try. I don't know if I'll be able to hear them, but I can give her a hook.
Can you hear Ginger okay?
I can hear you, but oh yeah, I can hear Ginger back there.
Okay, there we go. Let's get a couple Christians in for Chris in Montreal.
Let's do it.
All right. Well, the first super chat is from Jeff Galland.
Jeff Galland.
Oh,
I
monsieur.
just wanted to thank you for hanging out with my fiance and I at the Copper Bottom. Always a blast hanging out with you. Hope you like the records, bro.
Yeah, man. Thanks a lot, brother. We love you. Love you always.
Love your
That's great.
clam.
Yeah, the clams were a big hit, as you well know.
Yeah. Yeah.
Next.
We got a super chat from Jim Hanlon.
Oh, Jimmy Hanlon, Triple J.
Hey, Jimmy.
He says, nicest shirt yet.
Yeah, we see. I got all dressed up because I didn't know you weren't going to be here. I forgot that you weren't going to be here till about 1 o'clock today.
He
So
was
you
sad.
pulled out a special one on me.
Oh yeah, I got like carpenter shorts, and I look like a gay carpenter. I got the Florida.
Well-
I got my rainbow Keens on
At
and
least
everything.
you're a happy carpenter.
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. For all
That
my
ain't
friends
no
on the
load
other
of bull.
side.
Yeah.
It's Pride. Is it still Pride Month?
Yes.
Well, there you go. I'm
Yeah.
I'm there. Pride forever. Kerr next.
We got a highlighted chat from Clarence Mazerol, who's been a master guitar head for 13 months.
Cool. Nice to see you again, Clarence.
He just says hi to all our musical friends.
Sweet.
Happy Wednesday.
Let's find a
Yeah, you
question.
see, things get kind of slow when you ain't here, there, Coot.
Right.
There's just a lot of bland comments because people are looking at my shirt and they're like, "What the fuck are we supposed to ask that guy?"
What is happening here
We got a
tonight?
super chat from Jamie Reed.
Oh, Jamie Reed. Okay, go, Jamie.
Best night of the week, guys. Great to be here. What's your favorite chord progression? There's some beautiful chords out there, man.
You probably get an answer for that, Coot. You love that kind of stuff. What's your favorite chord progression in the song? I'll tell you go first, and then I'll tell you mine.
I kind of like augmented stuff, and I'm a big fan of the big kind of romantic resolve.
Right. Okay, well then you and I feel the same way because my favorite chord progression probably of all time is Stardust by Hoagie Carmichael.
Yeah.
I love that
fits
song.
The bill. Yeah.
Man, it's wicked. It's just got the best chords in it. Especially the Willie Nelson version.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Way different than Lady in Red.
Well, yeah. You're not gonna. There's not a lot of similarities there, boy. I'll tell you.
Right. Against All Odds. That was a good chord progression.
Phil Collins, yeah, man.
Yeah.
I love that stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, and
Lots of
of course,
tension.
Sting too. Sting has had
Yes.
some tremendously great chord progressions.
Truly.
Yeah, like every little breath you take, or not every little breath you take. Every little thing she does is magic.
Yep.
And oh man, there's so many on that from him. Like he's just a brilliant tactician when it comes to chord changes.
Yes, he is.
Yeah, and the Beatles too. John Lennon
Yep.
and Paul McCartney were incredible for that. So I'm sorry I'm looking over there, but
Staring beside
I
your
can see
face.
him over there. So just
Pay attention over there, would
I'm
you?
trying to pay attention, man. Come on.
There, now you're looking at me.
All right. Next, Kirsten. Oh, they're piling in now, Coot.
Uh-oh.
We got a super chat from Bob Perone.
Bob Perone, yes, sir.
Hey, Bob.
Yamaha LS6M or an FS Trans Acoustic. Not so much pickup wise, more interested in the opinion of tone. I'm a fingerstyle player.
Well, you'd want to go with the LS6M. I don't know that guitar. I'm assuming the M stands for mahogany, and the L6s are all generally built out of rosewood. So if you found an L6M, I would buy that guitar because it's going to be amazing, especially for fingerstyle LS small body mahogany back and sides. And the 6 is, I think it's solid. I don't remember. It might not be solid. Even if it is, it doesn't matter because Yamaha does the best. There's nobody that does laminate better than Yamaha. Their laminate sides are almost better quality than other guitars' solid sides.
True story.
Yeah, it's a true story. So yeah,
They are
the LS,
immovable.
yeah, the LS6M. If that guitar, I've never heard of that. I've heard of the LS6, but a mahogany version, man, that'd be sweet. That'd be everything. Kerr next.
I guess super chat from Jim Hanlon.
Another Jim Hanlon.
What's on Coot's lips?
What's on Coot's lips?
know.
Well, probably a little bit of that peanut butter left over from the explosion. You got to go back to the top of the video after it's over, Chris, and watch my intro for you. It was great.
All right.
That was classic.
I'm being attacked by dandelion fluff.
Yeah, well, that's what you get for standing out in front of your cock and balls there.
Yeah.
Fucking bull.
I'm at the cock and
Bull,
balls
I mean.
tavern.
Cock and bull. Sorry, cock and bull.
Yeah.
Kerr next.
Super chat from Stephen Sudsy Baker.
Oh, Sudsy's here.
Hey, Sudsy.
What's he got?
How's the water?
It was exciting when we could only see half of Chris's face.
Oh, lovely. I just FaceTimed Sudsy. He was on a bus coming from
Yeah.
he was on a bus getting drunk and going back to home to get drunker.
A bus or a train? I thought he was on the train.
He was on a bus, yeah. Like, why are you on a
Last
bus?
I saw him, he was on a train getting a Swedish massage.
Oh, God knows what he's doing.
I had to drop off the call. It was getting a little disturbing.
Yeah. Okay, ready for this one, Coot?
Yeah, let's do it.
Okay, one more. We'll let you go. Okay, buddy.
All right.
Okay, give her, Megan. What you got?
Super chat from Blair Sveinson.
Blair's Feinson.
Has Chris ever sung harmony to a Cormier recording?
Actually, he has sung on one of my records.
Yes.
The last one, he did.
Oh,
Wait. Yeah, he certainly did. All right, buddy.
yeah, for sure.
Well,
All
you
right.
take her cool over there in Montreal, right? Don't get your cock and bull caught in anything.
Tangled up in anything.
Yes,
Or
sir.
caught under a bus.
That's right.
All right. Love you guys.
We love you. We're glad you were able to
Okay.
make it in with us a little while.
Have a good Wednesday, everybody.
See you, Cute.
Okay. See you in a couple days.
Yeah, man.
Love you.
Love you too. Oh, that was fantastic. The technology is unbelievable. That's just amazing. We were able to get him in. So yeah, there's Coot. He's off working, flying around the world.
Old Montreal.
Old Montreal in a good spot. All right, next question.
All right, I think I missed something up here while I was trying to do 7 things at the same time.
That happens.
Yes, it happens. We got a highlighted chat from Joe McGraw.
Joe McGraw, good to see you again, buddy.
Happy to have my status back. Thank you. Means a lot to me. Cheers. He's the one that lost his.
I heard, I remember.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's good. I'm glad you're getting her back on there, buddy.
Yes.
We love you. Thank you.
Scrolling.
Scrolling, right.
Super chat from Mr. Jeff Gallant.
Jeff Gallon, comment ça va?
Have any of you fools heard of Guy Paul Thibodeau? Great live singer and player from Cole Harbour. He has one of my guitar songs now.
Never heard of him, but I will look him up. Nurched.
Okay, here's one from Tim Bennett.
Tim Bennett. All right, where are you at? Where are you at this time?
I think he's actually in Canada.
Welcome home, Timmy. Hopefully you're in Canada.
Because he said he can't send super chats while in Canada.
There you go.
Not
Cool.
sure why. Just learned that switching to unslotted bridge pins and filling slots into the bridge itself enhances energy transfer to the top. Thoughts?
Absolutely true. The slotted peg is a relatively new concept. They never were slotted. In the early days, it was the other way around. It's actually it's fascinating actually, because my Alvarez Yeri, this DYM, this Honduran mahogany dreadnought that I just love. It has slotless pegs. The slots are in the ebony piece that goes down through the top, and it's absolutely true. What it actually does is it does put more pressure on the string against the innards of the guitar as it goes down through the top, and it forces more of the ball end out of the hole and up onto the bridge plate. So you have a bigger contact of that end of the string with the body of the guitar with slotless pegs. So creating that is a little scary. You can do it with a set of slotting files to any guitar, but you have to do it really carefully, and you should watch a bunch of videos on how it's done. But you can convert any guitar to slotless pegs just by creating a groove in the hole so the string can go down through all the way through. And it does. It makes a massive difference in tone that I feel it does, only because I play these Yeris and I can tell that there's a deeper, broader connection in the top somehow, the way that their direct couple bridge works. And I think that's why they use slotless pegs, because it's a direct couple bridge, and the strings are going directly through the top, through that piece of ebony, and just sitting on top of the saddle and bridge. There's no pressure on that part of the assembly. So they're making all the contact be at the bridge plate and right where the strings go through the top. Very smart, and it works like a charm. And most guitars... What the hell?
The large bug just attacked me.
Most guitars, 100 years ago or however long ago, the early days in the early part of the 20th century, they had slotless pegs. The idea of putting a slot in the peg only came, in the 1910s and 20s. That's when they started doing it. Prior to that, Martin started out with slotless pegs, as far as I know. So did Gibson, Epiphone, all these different things. So, yeah. It's very cool, and it is a conversion that's easily done. It also, believe it or not, if you're going to use a slotless peg, you're probably going to get them in ebony or rosewood. And the fact that the peg has a little more meat in it, that slot is not in there anymore, so it's completely round, big chunk of solid, rosewood ebony, that also creates more tension and more vibration in the top, because the peg is solid. It's not going anywhere. It's really interesting. You should, before you try to do a conversion on any guitar, which I would recommend to anybody if you want to do it as a little side project, make sure you look at 3 or 4 videos from pro guys, that say how it's done, because you will see a difference. Now the problem with the only drawback of it is that you will not easily find slotless pegs. That's the problem. You often have to go to a specialty accessory store like Stumac, or possibly some really high-end guitar shops would carry slotless pegs in ebony or rosewood or whatever or they don't make them out of micarta or tusk or any of those things, to my knowledge. So you have to get them. They're a specialty item. So, in other words, if you do this and one of your pegs breaks, boy, it's not going to be easy to replace it right away. You may have to order one. So if you do it, get 2 sets of pegs, so you have 6 replacements in case something happens. Right there, you go. So that's my thoughts on it. Kirk Connect.
You're so looking at Chris, you're not looking at the people.
I'm looking. I looked at the whole thing.
I got a super chat from Roger Sykes.
Roger Sykes.
We were great fans here in Scotland of Bruce Cockburn in the 70s and 80s. Had to get a buddy to ship the actual vinyl records from Canada in those days. Did you ever meet him? I see he's now playing at Boucher.
Yeah, I've met Bruce twice, and the first time was a bit of a disaster. And the second time was completely opposite. He was very nice to me the last time I met him, and I got to play Foxglove in front of him on a stage out in Kingsville, Ontario. We headlined a festival together out there. Me and him, and Gunning was with me that year, and Russell DeCarl from Prairie Oyster, Ron Hines, and he's a lovely man. He's a very interesting dude. The first time I met him, I'm not even going to go into it, but it was really funny because he is a very green, left-leaning guy, and he makes it known publicly sometimes at the most inappropriate times, I felt. So anyhow, yeah, I do love him though. He's a nice well, now, he's a nice old gentleman. He's a statesman for Canadian music and guitar players in general. And I hope I live long enough to do everything he's done and still play as well as he does at his age. So, yeah, you got to give it to Bruce. He's a beautiful guy. Tremendous guitar player. I think highly underrated, actually. So, yeah. Next.
I got a super chat from Larry Reindress.
Larry Reindress. Local Larry.
GP song Another Morning, which GP sang for me last week, was featured on the front page of Billboard Music a number of years ago. It's the biggest music magazine in the world. JP, you were a superstar long ago.
Yeah, I did really well for a while there till the machine did its work, right? But there was a point in time when that album came out that I was, poised to do something much grander than I ended up doing. But I'm glad it didn't happen, because I'd probably nowhere now, because everybody that I know that got a hold of the brass ring back in those days is now defunct. They either are not touring at all, or they can't get a job as who they are, right? Or it's just all you have to do is watch the Life and Music episodes, about what that world is like. It's not that good. And I have a real problem with authority. So I would have never made it in, and I didn't. And that was why I didn't. The machine was too controlling for me, and everything that happened to me in those days was a threat to my personal autonomy as an artist and a creator, and I let people know about it, and that's why I get basically ostracized by the industry. But yes, there was a full-page article on me in Billboard in '98, I think it was. It was a major album. It got nominated for a Juno. There was talk of, at that time, there was American labels talking about signing me and preparing for, Grammy submissions and all this stuff, right? I just these guys are all arseholes. They're not really in this for, I don't know why they're in it. They're definitely not in it for music. It had nothing to do with that. It was all business and backroom dealing, and it was just no. This is not. Nobody's going to tell me what instruments I can put on one of my records. Fuck that. So that's why that ended abruptly. But I did have a taste of it for a while. It was okay while it lasted, but I much preferred where I ended up in my career as where I probably would be if I had made $1 million in the first 5 years. I would probably be either dead or bankrupt now, or living in a ditch somewhere, probably fighting an old seagull for a French fry in a fucking McDonald's parking lot somewhere in Bedford. Probably likely where I would be if I had done it. So yeah, all good, very interesting. I haven't seen that article in years, but it was really cool. Larry LeBlanc wrote it. Larry, who went on to actually manage Dave Gunning for a time, and that was the thing too. And again, all of this is in Life and Music. If you haven't subscribed to this channel, please hit subscribe and subscribe to us, and go look through some of the other playlists, because that whole story is in Life and Music. And there was a time in the mid-90s, early 90s to mid-90s, where all of these huge conglomerate business entities, people like Larry LeBlanc, Billboard, the major labels here in Canada, they were all in the East Coast sniping talent as fast as they could get it, right? They signed Natalie, they signed Ashley, they signed Rita, they signed the Rankins, they signed me, they signed Bruce Guthrow, they signed all these people because it was the flavor of the month, right? And not realizing that Maritimers actually have talent. And so a lot of the guys that got signed back then fell off the wagon the same way I did, because it's way below them to do the commercial music scene. Look at Bruce Guthrow. He had major hits, #1 songs, but where is he now? He runs his own business. He was the lead singer for Run Rig for 20 years. He's incredibly successful. It has nothing to do with the industry. I'm the same way. Dave Gunning's the same way. Lenny Gallant's the same way. Jimmy Rankin, same way. And even Rita, she come out of that machine and just said, well, I'm just going to do what I want to do. And she toured until the very end and made $1 bazillion, right? And so it was a very interesting time that spawned that Billboard article. And I wasn't the only one getting that kind of attention. But it's fascinating to go back and look at all the history of maritime artists and creators in that decade, because it was out of control. It was really out of control. And it spawned some of the best music that's ever been recorded. But who knows about it today? Not many people, really. When I think about Ashley McIsaac's first album, that was one of the most brilliant records ever made. It was beyond cutting edge. It was something else entirely. And the first 3 or 4 Rankin albums, my God, there's just, but they've put all these people now, including myself and Dave and all these people, they're all considered they're legacy artists is what they call us now. And that's fine, because we did do some pretty cool things, 25, 30 years ago. But I mean, if we had the right people in the industry behind us, you'd have the longevity of people like Ian Tyson and Lightfoot and Leonard Cohen and Joni Mitchell and all. We just didn't have the right. It was an attempt by the industry to cash in on all this massive talent in the East Coast, and I think basically all of us kind of get burned. If you want my opinion about it, that's sort of what happened, because there's really nobody from that crew that's sort of part of the industry anymore. They all went on to have very successful self-owned careers, and that's the wave of the future. Nobody is signing to labels anymore. The magazines like Billboard wouldn't write an article about me now if their ass was on fire and their hair was catching, or anybody else like me. They have no interest in actual music anymore. None of the industry does. Radio has no interest in it. Labels have none. Publicists, none of it. It isn't about this anymore. So, yeah, don't get me on a rant, but it's a fascinating. It's very fascinating that you brought that up, and it's very interesting. And I suggest that you go back in time and you look up all those great artists and go re-listen to Rita's "Flying on My Own" and the Rankins' "Fairly Well Love" and Lenny Gallant what was the name of that song? Damn it! I'm having a brain fart. It's his biggest song, "The Dream," Somebody's Dream.
The Who?
Damn it, my brain's fried. Anyhow, it was, and even people like Ron Hines and myself. That album, "Another Morning," it was the biggest record we ever put out. And go back and listen to all that stuff. Natalie's first album, "No Boundaries," Ashley's first. And you go back, and that is a body of work that is absolutely stunning. How much just sheer raw creative talent was in that crop of players, right? It's just amazing. We've outdone ourselves in the East Coast in a number of ways, I think, in the industry. So I'm proud of all of us. I don't give a shit if they write about us anymore or not. Fuck them. Next.
We have a comment from Mrs. Cam McMaster.
Oh,
Yeah.
Mrs. Cam McMaster.
Just popped up here.
Clam disaster, the Mrs. Clam disaster.
Yes. She just says, Cam is out, but asked me to say hi to everyone, and he'll be back to chat soon.
Cool. Right on.
I haven't
Hope
seen
he's
Cam
doing
in a
okay.
while.
I haven't heard from him in a while. A little worried about him.
Yes. Think he's around? Just busy, I guess.
Next.
I got a question from Mark Ashworth.
That's new, I think. Maybe?
I think so. I think I've
All
seen
right.
him around a little bit.
All right, Marky. How you doing, buddy?
I'm waiting for a new Yamaha LL16, and I can't wait to get it in my hands. I want to upgrade the pickup system in it. Which would you recommend for the most natural acoustic sound?
K&K, 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 K&K. Country Western Mini. Actually, they're called the Pure Mini now.
Pure Mini, yeah.
K&K. There is no other pickup. Sorry. I don't care. Fight me. There's no other pickup. If you the only thing that stops people from using K&Ks, this is honest, the honest truth, is that they don't come with a volume and tone control that's accessible in the guitar. To me, that is not a reason not to use it, because I don't have that in any of my guitars equipped with K&K, because I use an amplifier. And the other thing is, if you do need that kind of control, you can get a little volume pedal or something, or whatever you want, or an EQ, or to set up a little thing to have an outboard control of EQ and volume. But you don't need it, because the K&K sounds so good, plugged directly into a DI, that it'll blow your mind. And if you don't be fooled by how a K&K might sound if you plug it into a DI and you don't like the sound of it, it's not the pickup's fault, it's the front of house guy. So it's because most front of house guys, unfortunately, and I mean not all of them, but they're, and even the good ones, here's the deal. Front of house guys are used to taking acoustic guitars and making them that big, because they sonically eat up a lot of really valuable real estate in a mix on stage. They have a feedback problem. They have all this stuff. So they high pass guitars at 100, sometimes 150, just cut all the low end off. So with a K&K, they're so feedback resistant that you can high pass them at 50, and every bit of the guitar comes out of the speakers. So you got to be really careful about because I've had a few people judge K&Ks based upon the sound at a live gig, that they didn't have the control of the sound. Make sure, if you're going to use a K&K, to get an amp. That's what I use. I've been using the Fishman Artist Pro for 15 years. They're tiny. You sit them on a chair, you plug your guitar in, and your guitar sounds like Moses, like playing the golden harp of the fleece of the Holy Lamb of Harvey's Burgers. I don't know. And that's the way to defeat any problems about, well, I don't have volume or tone control or whatever. But if you're not concerned about that, you don't need it anyway. You just plug that right into a DI. Make sure the strip the guitar is going through is flat, and play the guitar. And you'll be mightily impressed, because there's no more natural sounding pickup than the K&K. It's an exact translation of any guitar it goes in, and I've never, ever seen one fail. I have them in every guitar I own. And there's nothing that sounds like them, because there's nothing that sounds like your guitar. Undersaddle pickups they don't translate the body of the guitar. They translate the vibration of the saddle. So the guitar sounds like a piece of plastic with an undersaddle pickup. They sound horrendous.
Well, they don't sound horrendous.
They sound horrendous compared to a K&K. Don't argue with me, Ginger. Who's the host here, God? So,
they still sound good.
But they don't sound nearly as good as a K&K.
Good.
No, there's no comparison actually between the two of them.
Guitar-like.
No. If you need a bright, jangly guitar sound, go with an undersaddle. If you want your guitar to sound like wood and what it sounds like in a room, do the K&K. And the Yamaha, you'll love the, oh God, I have Yamahas here with K&Ks. Oh my God, they're so good. So you'll have no problem there. Good luck. You're going to have a field day with that. It's going to be awesome. So good luck. I hope you, did he say a 6 or a 16? He said a 16. Monstrous guitar too, 16.
So. Yeah, LL16.
I have an LL16D black on its way here eventually. They're so far behind I won't be getting mine until October, but it's on its way. Next.
Super chat from Diffland.
Jeff Kellogg.
Do any of us master guitar heads get access to your master guitar lessons at some point? I want to upgrade my playing, and you are the reason, bro.
Well, I don't know. That's up in the air. We have a lot of development to do with Master Music Method this fall when we have time to actually shoot videos. So you'll just stay tuned. There may be a change in the future. I don't know, but just stay tuned. That's all I can tell you for now. Next.
Mm-hmm. Everything just moved. Super chat from Bob Perone again.
Bobby.
Thanks for the advice, JP. I was able to get the LS6M. It's mahogany with an ARE spruce top. Oh boy. Lamb back inside, solid top.
Son of a bitch. Yeah, you got a good guitar there. Mm-hmm. It's going to be wicked. Send me a picture.
Is someone in our yard?
I think there is. Appears to be somebody mowing our lawn.
I already mowed the lawn today. It's interesting.
Either that or somebody's on top of the house with a gigantic drone.
It's possible. Super chat from Jasper North.
Jasper North.
He called you PJ. But
Bastard.
I'm assuming that's a typo. Why not perform live with mic pointed at the 12th fret?
What?
Why not perform live with the mic pointed at the 12th fret?
Because I want people to hear my guitar without feedback and squealing, and I can't stand still when I'm playing because that sucks, and I did it for years, and I've played my guitar through a microphone on every stage you can imagine, and every single time it sounded like shit. That's why. Anybody who mics a guitar at this point in the timeline should be kicked in the nuts.
Well,
there's no comparison between a microphone and a pickup. There's just none. You can't. I've seen so many guitar players absolutely fucking ruined at bluegrass festivals and other festivals because they don't plug in. And so they're at the mercy of often petty, over self-important sound people who think that they know what they're doing and don't. And I've seen it 1,000 times. I've seen guys go on stage and all that happens when they get the guitar near the microphone is squealing, squawking, low-end feedback. You don't hear any of their solos. Like there's only so much articulation that can actually be translated by a microphone in a live setting, because you can't turn a microphone up high enough to get it to come through the system. In a studio, it's a different story altogether. You have complete control of the acoustics. There's no feedback. There's no monitors. Your monitors are on your head. So it's just like this. I really get frustrated a lot of times with people saying like, "Oh, you can't beat a microphone," in front. Yeah, you can beat a microphone. That's why there's pickups. And if you go down through, like a great example is Tony Rice, right? Tony Rice refused to put pickups in his guitar. Fine, he was a purist. But every time you heard that guy play live, it was a crapshoot. You often were, experiencing severe high-end feedback when he played, or low-end, or he wasn't loud enough, or the guitar sounded this big, or whatever. He had no consistency. No guitar player has any consistency from gig to gig when they're miking their guitar. It doesn't matter. The closest thing that I've heard in recent years that could actually reproduce a guitar without too much damage is an Ear Trumpet Labs mic. those guys, and see they're completely different because they're a widespread condenser, so you don't get close to it anyway. You'd only get about here and play the guitar, and everything comes out. But you can't use monitors, and you can't turn it up very high. So it has to be perfect conditions for a guitar to even come through a microphone. And it's been that way for 60 years. And to be quite honest with you, it really hasn't improved from 1965 till now. It hasn't. There's still no microphones that you can, every single night the audience is going to hear every note you're playing, and you're going to hear every note you play. So that's another big drawback to mics, is you can't use monitors with guitar. You can't. You can have a little bit, but if you get the monitors hot enough to actually hear yourself, they feed back. So it's just, man, just put a pickup in your guitar. Put a KK in your guitar, and then there's no feedback, and there's all the volume you could ever want, and all the clarity and everything. You hear the whole body of the guitar with a decent pickup inside the guitar, and that's why I would never ever do that live. And of course, when I'm recording, you're using a mic because you don't have any external forces affecting the guitar, the sound of the guitar, the sound of the return of the signal of the guitar. Everything's silent in the room. And so, yeah, I know people still swear by it, but at the same time, they get up on stage and they sound horrible. And it's sad because some of them are really good guitar players, but you would never know it from out in the audience because the sound man is not paying attention or doesn't know how to mix a flat top guitar, or the other problem is the mismatch between every guitar and a mic. So they put a 57 up in a bluegrass festival or some other semi high-end condenser, because you can't put a high-end condenser on a stage like that because they feed back worse than a 57. So the guitar itself, whoever's playing in front of the mic, that guitar might have a frequency spike. Well, not might, will. It'll have a frequency spike somewhere in the spectrum that's going to blow that mic apart and cause all kinds of problems. So the next guy comes, he got a different guitar, right? So you literally you'd have to ring out the whole sound system every time the band changed at a bluegrass festival in order to get that to work well, right? And it's just so frustrating because I've seen it. I saw it for so many years and still see it today, where great guitar players get up on stage in front of a microphone and you can't tell how great they are because they're fighting the sound system, and that's bullshit. We're well beyond that. Technology exists now that every guitar player should be heard exactly what they're playing. No bullshit, no feedback, good tone, good volume. That's why, right? So there's my rant again. I ranted again.
Several rants.
Some of my rants are coming out because excuse me if I'm ranting, but I do get a ton of comments about things like this on YouTube all the time, and some of them aren't very nice, right? And it's just like people say things about stuff like that. That's a topic that comes up quite a bit, and they say things that are uncalled for, and they're not taking into consideration the reasons why I plug in, why Doc Watson plugged in, why Dan Crary plugs in, why Clay Jones, when he played with Mountain Heart, was plugged in, and on it goes, right? There's a reason why guitar players plug in. You'd never see Tommy Emmanuel trying to play through a microphone. Ain't gonna happen. Or any of these guys, right? So, yeah, it's an interesting topic, but you could go into a whole series of videos about that, how to mic guitars, especially in a live application. It's such a nightmare. But anyhow, next. Rant over.
Super chat from Jim Waller.
Jim Walla.
I've only known of you the last few years, and I love your music. Thank you for what you continue to do, and for the intro to Gunning and Stomping Tom. Still can't listen to Little Wawa without a tear forming. Thank you all. Love you all.
Thank you, brother. Love you too. Swedish.
Is that what that is?
I think. Can't be sure.
We got a super chat from Thomas Althouse.
I remember Thomas.
Mm-hmm.
How you doing?
But I don't see... The question isn't tied to it.
Damn it.
I don't see it anywhere. It might still be coming.
All right.
Not sure.
Anybody else?
How
How many people's on with us right now?
175.
Sweet.
Yeah. Let's see.
Good weather's coming.
There's a comment from Tim Bennett.
Tim Bennett.
It says, great info tonight. Planned upgrades to my Recording King Tonewood Reserve Series. Unslotted bone bridge pins, filling slots in bridge, K&K Pure Mini, and fret leveling, crowning, and polishing.
Sweet. You'll have
Nice.
a great guitar after that's done. Recording King makes great guitars. They just don't have the all of the quality control finishing things in place yet. They will have. But they're making great guitars, but they're doing the best that they can with the amount of staff they have that pass these guitars out. There's quality control overseas where they're built, but when they get here, there should be a second check, and there is a second check, but man, it's hard because they're making a lot of guitars, and some of this, I just think that I think they're getting better. That's for one thing. And I think that as they mature, they will find ways to streamline QC where you won't have to get a Recording King and love it, but it needs a fret dress. It needs this. It needs that. These little cosmetic and physical things that need to be fixed that would be done by any other company that had the staff and time and resources to get it done. I think it's fine to get a guitar, especially from them, because their designs are so cool, that you have to tweak a bit, because they're not charging you a fortune for them at all. Like, I have Recording Kings in here that were only $400, and most of them are perfect, and some of them are not, but there was so little that had to be done to make it perfect. I have no problem with that whatsoever. So if you're altering, and I think another thing, talking to Ashley and his brother, they love it when people mod their guitars. That's kind of the idea. They're building guitars that, yeah, this is an old design, here it is, but if you want to do this, and this, and pimp your ride, they love that. And you can go back to them and say, look what I did to my RD328 or my whatever. Like Patrick Lundgren, my best buddy over in Sweden there, he completely altered his 328. He stripped it, put nitro finish on it, sunburst, changed the pick guard, did the dressed the neck, changed everything. That guitar that was a $400 or $500 guitar now is worth $1,000, and it sounds it too, because the materials that they're using are really good. They're not using garbage materials. They're using real solid rosewood, nice Addy tops, nice Sitka tops. They're like, the product itself is really sound. So yeah, that's cool. I'm glad you're rodding her up there, because I think that's one of the best ways to do with a Recording King. I changed one of I have the little creamsicle parlor guitar, and I use it as a Nashville high strung, and I love it. It's on every record I'm putting out of here, and that's what it was meant to be. I could play it with regular strings on it, no problem at all, but it lives in that world of it being a high string really well. It sounds like $1 million over a microphone, and that's the kind of guitars that Recording King makes. And they're coming out with some new stuff in the fall that I'm not allowed to talk about, but buddy, when you see this stuff, whew, it's gonna be something. I can't wait for that for these. There's some new stuff coming out. Gonna blow your mind. So yeah, keep your eyes on those guys. They know what they're doing, and they make one of the best banjos in the world. I love my arcade my 75 man deluxe. Holy God, that's a good banjo. It's so good. I sold my Master Tone. I sold my Gibson because of that banjo. And yeah, it's a monstrous instrument. They know what they're doing. Next.
Super chat from Jamie Reed.
Cool.
I have a hairline lacquer crack on my J45 caused by a sudden change in temperature, but it's not getting worse. Keeping an eye on it. Scared to leave it out now, though. Humidity at my room is 46%.
There's nothing you can do about lacquer checking. And it's going to get worse. That guitar happens to be susceptible to that problem. Many guitars, many instruments in general are. It has to do with bad luck and the day that thing was finished. Bad luck. It's so like I have dozens of guitars here that I've toured with. In minus 40 out west, they're in the back of the car, the trunk sometimes, or in the summer they're stored in the back of the car at a festival while I'm trying to do things, and it gets 100 degrees inside my car. None of these things cracked. There was no lacquer checking involved. So the best advice I got for you is live with it. It's because it's gonna keep happening to that guitar. And secondly, the way to avoid lacquer checking is when the guitar experiences, it isn't humidity that causes it. It's caused by the extreme and very quick change in temperature. So if the guitar gets really hot in your car, you take it to the house and you put it in your house and you leave it there for 3 hours until it cools down in the case. Then you open it very slowly. I wouldn't even open the case. I just flick the latches and raise the lid up and let the air in the room get to it. Then you take it out after an hour or so. And cold weather is even worse. So if your instrument gets cold outside, you've got to bring it in the house and make positive sure that it is at room temperature before you open it. And I mean inside the case. So that takes some doing. It could take 6 or 8 hours for that guitar. If it's prone to lacquer checking, many guitars are, from every builder. So you just got to make sure. Bring the thing in the house, let it sit for couple hours, undo the latches and let a little bit of air in, let it sit for another hour or so, and then open it. Because what causes the checking is when the guitar shrinks in cold weather, and when you hit the hot air, it expands very quickly and blows the finish out. Same thing with heat. Heat, the guitar expands, and then if it gets cold really fast, it tries to shrink, but the lacquer's still out here and it cracks, right?
Different material expanding at different rates.
At different rates. So you can't, it's just bad luck. And that guitar, if it already started checking, chances are it's going to continue to check no matter what you do. It's like a windshield. When you get a rock chip, if you don't fix that hole, you can't stop it from spidering everywhere, and that's what you can't fix a lacquer check. You can't stop it from spreading or prevent the rest of the guitar from checking if you're not careful about your temperature changes. So don't worry about humidity. Humidity has nothing to do with it. Unless you let your guitar get down to 10%. That's going to destroy the wood and everything anyway. So as long as you're floating between 35 and 55, that has no effect on your finish. Not even your wood, really. If you keep it around 40, 35 to 55, that's the healthy place for the guitar to be able to expand and contract just a bit until it settles and stops doing that after 5 or 6 years, right? So, yeah, good luck with that. It's a problem. You just got to be really careful with where you pull out your junk. Okay, next.
Super chat from Jim Waller.
Jim Waller, go.
Says, Mrs. Waller sends her best too. Joan's a big fan as well, and we will make a show ASAP.
Sweet. Anybody left in the super chat column?
Yep.
Let's get them in.
One from Jasper North.
Jasper North.
Want to get good, play and sing every day. Plenty time.
That's right. 8 hours a day. if you want to get really good. Next.
Got one with no question. Looks like
Who was it?
Briangino. I don't know how to.
I don't know
I'm
that one.
definitely saying that wrong. The super chat. I don't see a question. It might just be a super chat.
Okay.
Thank you for that. Look. Oh wait. No. Oh, he says my sound guy gave me a cock and bull story. I don't know what that's referencing.
He might be talking about either the K&K pickups or miking guitar. Yeah, sound men are bad about that. And I shouldn't say that. I've worked with great sound guys, and I have all my career. But there are certain ones that are just, they're in control, and they like that. And they don't like to be... Change is difficult for them. They will do anything to avoid admitting that their way of doing things is wrong or outdated. And that's when you get dangerous. Things can go wrong in your show. Like most soundmen that I've ever worked with are wide open, wide-eyed, open-minded. They are ready. That's what's the key of a good engineer. Someone who's ready to admit anything and learn anything that adds to their encyclopedia of sonic knowledge, whether it be behind a credenza in a studio or behind a desk in a live setting. So, yeah, it's easy enough to get a lot of bullshit from sound men who don't really care. I think it was
care. It just reminded me of the reference to the bar that Chris was outside of. The Coffee Bowl bar.
Oh, okay. Right on.
I think
cool.
It might have been.
All right. So the question tonight will be, who is the lovely and kind-hearted operator in Murfreesboro, Tennessee of Gallagher Guitars? What is our good friend's name who runs Gallagher now? I spoke of him at the very first of the show. What is his full name?
You need first and last?
Yes. Some people will know because they're Gallagher fans, and they've probably already talked to him or emailed him or whatever. So this will fill up spots 25 and 26, and I think over the next few weeks we're going to start talking about prize packs because we're halfway through the compilation of our weekly winners. It's going to be big again because there's a lot of great goodwill coming from all these companies that work with us, and they're going to help us. I think some of them are going to help us put together packages that can be sent out of Canada. That was a big issue last year. We got lucky and the winner was inside Canada, but if it had been outside of Canada, it could have been scary.
Problematic.
Yeah, so we're gonna work it out this year that some of these guys will help us with prizes in the States, prizes in Europe, and we'll take care of here in Canada. So yeah, it's gonna be good. It's gonna be a good giveaway this time again. Probably just about in time for Christmas too. Any winners?
The first one I see is Catfish Creek Chuck.
Oh, he's not in yet. He is not. Catfish Creek Chuck.
It's Dave Mathis, right?
It is.
Yeah. Oh, someone said Dave Matthews. That's not quite. Different Dave.
Catfish Creek Chuck, you're into the draw, boy. Number 25. Who's next?
So Brian was close with Dave Matthews.
Oh, that's too bad.
And then there's Philip Vernon with Dave Mathis.
He's already in number 11.
You ready? Joe Beatrice.
Joe Beatrice. He's in. Joe Beatrice.
Now? Okay. So send us your email address.
Yeah, we already have most of these people. Catfish Creek.
I don't think we have Joe.
Joe Beatrice, send us an email at jpcormier38@gmail.com. And you'll be, so we have your information if you win the draw when we have it. And yeah, so it's awesome once again to be here with you, as we are almost every Wednesday. In the coming weeks, I will be touring and running about the world. But we're going to try to, if we can't make Wednesday nights, I'll let everybody know and do some kind of a short video for you guys while I'm out on the road. And If you haven't hit subscribe, please do. We just crossed 22,000 subscribers yesterday. It's pretty awesome. And so yeah, keep them coming. If you don't, if you know somebody who'd like what we do and all the different playlists we have, all the different shows, tell somebody. Get them to hook up with us. We love you guys, and well, I don't know what we would have done all these last 2.5 years without YouTube. It kind of saved our asses, you know what I mean?
Yep.
So, a big love you from Ginger and from me and from Coot at the Cocked Balls. And I hope he's all right over there in Montreal. That's a rough place, I hear. So, yeah, we love you.